My name is Mandeep. I'll be presenting this extending Pdf.js session. So let's start with the slides first. So a bit about me. My name is Mandeep Janjua. I'm working at a small company called Sajeti as an engineering manager, but it's part of a bigger company called Capgemini. I'm hoping you have heard about that. I really enjoy building things, building products. Besides that, from my job or otherwise, so from past few years, I have shifted my focus into distributed applications. I'm comfortable with all the three major clouds, AWS, GCP, and Azure. I believe that's where the challenge is if you need to scale. So these days, that's where you put your horsepower, you put your major efforts when you're looking to scale from few thousand to few 100,000 or maybe few million users. So besides that, I really enjoy scaling applications, performance tuning, debugging, and designing. I'm full stack. I mean, you might have got some idea already. You can find me, at these social networks. Please feel free to connect at LinkedIn. So this is the agenda. I will first show you the PDF viewer that's inbuilt, and the requirement or the use case that I faced. I did not plan to extend Pdf.js on my own. I found myself in this situation. So users kind of complained that they could not edit and save PDFs. So then we have to roll back the production release. So that's how we found out. And it was kind of very rare and very unique situation because I haven't seen anybody editing their PDFs and then saving that edited PDF in the backend storage. So what were the challenges I faced? We'll go through that. Then I will show you the extended PDF viewer. Then, like I said, we'll have a demo, and I will line by line, I will show you all the changes that I did. So this is the inbuilt PDF viewer. I took this screenshot from Chrome. This is a form that we use to register our motor vehicles in South Carolina. It could be any PDF. I just happened to have this form, and it was suitable for this demo preparation. So I took this one. It could be any other form. So you might notice there are a lot of text fields. So that's the kind of the use case we're going to talk. When I landed myself in this situation, I thought, I would do parent.parent. I will get to this PDF viewer, and then I will find the PDF. That's it. But boy, that was just my imagination. So it runs in its own shell, own sandbox. Google Chrome does not give you any access to it. We cannot access the JavaScript code. We cannot access anything. So that's why I had to find some other alternate to make it happen. And the big difference between this inbuilt PDF viewer, it's kind of native rendering, but the PDF.js, that's HTML JavaScript based rendering. So that's the biggest difference. Okay, so this was the one-liner requirement from my customer. They said users should be able to change the data in the PDF, and they should be able to save the edited PDF in the backend system. I mean, backend system is agnostic. It could be SQL Server, it could be Azure, but in our case, we are saving the final PDF in Azure. And it should be cross-browser compliant. I mean, that's actually a challenge in itself because Pdf.js, it's the latest code. It does not support IE 11. So we have to find some other alternate to make that happen. So that's the requirement. There are quite a few challenges. Let's go through those challenges. There is no out-of-the-box solution, not even open source. I mean, like I said, I never heard anyone doing it. I also spent some time searching for it, but I could not find any option. Like I said, most of the people, they display the PDF in the browser and just call it a day. And because of that reason, there is not much community support. If you search on Stack Overflow, GitHub, there is, like, I could not find any open source project for that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a challenge to have cross-browser support. And, the solution will not be practical if it's slow or if it's a lot slower. So we have to keep that in mind while finding alternates. And we also, in case if there are any bugs, any new features, we should be ready for those to give a live support for this solution. So these were the challenges that we faced. In particular, I faced because I led this. I coded the whole thing. So I was mindful that it cannot be one-off thing. So if in the future there are more requests, we should be able to accommodate those. So besides challenges, there are benefits though. So my customer, they have about 500 PDFs. If we are able to deliver the solution, we don't need a separate UI for each PDF. Their existing system, they were having a separate UI for each PDF. That's the reason we are kind of porting it to a new system. We don't need a UI. The PDF is the UI itself. So before submitting that form to DMV, in our case, users can make final edits. Like if they have moved or if they have changed their name, they can make those changes before submitting. So this approach allows separation of concerns. Like I hope you guys have used DocuSign. So the bigger idea behind this system, it's kind of a DocuSign. We are building a DocuSign for my customer, but it's in-house. They are using it for their own further customers. So if it's Imagine DocuSign, we can host it separately. We can maintain. We can have separate releases. It have its own life cycle. So that is the benefit of this solution. So like I said, if users are editing their PDFs before submitting to DMV, we are storing those PDFs. It gives us audit trail. We can see who changed what. In case somebody opens a ticket, hey, our system submitted wrong data, we can find out that if there was a bug in the system or the users, they changed the data. So so please ignore the content. So this is the Pdf.js viewer. It kind of looks similar. It have a lot more like fancy features, which I will show you in a couple of minutes. Okay, let's enough talking. Let's have a demo. Any questions so far before I pull code? Okay. This is, I don't need to tell you, this is Visual Studio. It's MVC project. It could be anything. It could be Node. It could be Python. So it's not dependent upon just .NET. Okay, so let's run it. I have this thing here. Let me do side by side. And I'm going to give you a walkthrough. So this is just the home page. So and then we have a redirect. It goes here. And this guy, it opens this file. And on this file, it's calling this script. So let's go inside that script. Once in. Okay, let's park this for now. I will show you the script in the, once we're done this. So this PDF, this system then calls this controller. What it does, it reads this file. This file is at the base directory. This is the file. It simply reads and then sends it back. That's all it does. I mean, most of the time we just display the PDF in the browser. So the requirement is let's put some data here. It's a VIN number. Let's put this one. For make, let's put BMW. For model, let's say X5. It's enough for now. So the scenario is we're going to hit print. So this is not just print, it is print and save. So it's going to call this method. I put a breakpoint. See, this is a confirmation on the Pdf.js. It got our changes. These are here, and this is the breakpoint. What it does, it reads this PDF, and then it converts into base 64. And then, I mean, you have the base 64. This is base 64 array, but if you want to save in a backend storage, you will have to save this one, not the array. So this one you can save anywhere. You can save in any of the, if you have S3 storage, you can save it there. You want to save locally on the system like I'm doing, you can do that. You can save in SQL Server, you can also do that. So let's run this. Okay, so what I'm doing is, I'm saving the file. This is the name. I'm just extending. I'm just appending ticks. So see, this is my local time. Let's open this one. Okay, this is open. 1 second. Let's open in Chrome. Okay. All right, see, these are the changes I made. these changes are here. So the system worked as we wanted to. So similarly, if you would have changed anything else, those changes would have appeared here. So let's go over the source code. I mean, the other challenge was there are two files that we need to work on to make it happen. One is Pdf.js, other is viewer.js. So each file have 15,000 lines of code. So total 30,000 lines of code that I had to get myself familiar. The code I did not write. It was a challenge. I mean, going all over, understanding. It was, yeah. I was thinking what I got myself into. So on the left side is the original file, and on the right side is the file that I made changes. So let's go one by one. And this is just a comment. So this method gets called when I click on print. So this is the endpoint, the API endpoint. What it does, it just gets the latest PDF. So then what we are doing, we are splitting the file into chunks. If you don't do it, it's going to crash your browser. So this is binary array. So we are splitting into chunks into a string. So then once we are done, so then we got this here and we are sending it to server in base64 string format. That's all happening here. Let's see. And the next change is, this is just a comment. It was trying to download the file locally. We don't need it. So that's why I commented this section. So this is the load. When you first start the application, this is how it loads the PDF. This is the endpoint. So we got the data from server, and then we are converting it into a base64 array, and then we are passing it to display on the UI, and it's just a loader. So I'm just hiding a few buttons. So that's about it. We went through the demo, and I showed the code changes. Any questions or anything where you need more clarification? It's open ground, We can talk about whatever you want to.
Hi Mandeep, do you have any examples on the GitHub where we can try it on our end?
Good question. I do not have it, but I can definitely I can share this project on my GitHub. So 1 second.
Yep, thank you.
This is my GitHub account. I'm going to paste my link. So I'll upload it tonight. So please make note of it and check tomorrow. It'll be the same name, extending pdf.js. You can download from there.
And can we use this Pdf.js extended one using JavaScript or jQuery instead of from the ASP.NET to our MVC project you created? Can we play in JavaScript? Can we invoke it and generate the files, or does it need to be?
Yeah, I believe so. It's not tied to .NET. You can use it from pure. I mean, if you want to call it from React, Angular, or pure HTML on JS, yeah, you should not have any problem. Because it's JavaScript, pure JavaScript. That's true.
Okay. And can we also embed the layout, the PDF, whatever the layout initially you created? So let's say if I want to embed some logos, dynamic, how difficult is that?
Okay, let's run this again, so that I can capture your question. So where do you want to show the logo? On the top?
Yeah, the top, because see, let's say I have a web application where the multiple different clients log in. So each client will have their own logo, right? So I cannot use the standard logo. So I need to generate a report based on their company logo. So the same place wherever you have right now. So, but it will be a dynamic, stuff.
So if you're talking about this part, this is a PDF. It could be anything. So let me open. So this is the original PDF. Let's open this one. So yeah, so this is a PDF. It could be anything. So yeah, you can put your logo on this one. You own it. But if you want to put logo somewhere here, it's just an application. You can do whatever you want. That's, I hope I'm answering your question. Yeah, you see that? You can put anything here. But this is just a PDF file. It could be anything.
Okay. That was more looking like the PDF inside the PDF, not the page.
Yeah. This one is a PDF. You have complete control. You can change anything. Yeah, you can change anything. Did I answer your question?
The logo what you have right now, is that
This
coming
one?
from? Yeah, is that a resource file or is it a
It's
URL?
it's in the PDF.
Oh, it's in the PDF.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's in the PDF. So it could be anything. So you have complete control on this entire file. You can do anything. So in our case, this is a government form.
Okay.
We cannot change anything. Sometimes we found mistakes, confusing. We are just bound. We cannot change anything. It's a DMV form. So yeah. But if it's your invoice, or if it's anything else that you own, yeah, you can do anything. You have complete control.
Okay. So I mean, sorry for too many questions. So
No,
say if I
please.
want to add a table, I mean, so at any point of time, can we make changes to the PDF through the code? Like, let's say I want to add a table to the PDF instead of text boxes. No, the table is a dynamic. Like it could be 5 rows one time, and it could be 1 row one time. So is there something can be done? I'm not sure because I'm very new to the PDF.js. So just want to see if that is something can be achieved.
So I believe you're asking if you want to change this PDF. Um, um, like have a table have multiple rows, dynamically couple 2 rows or 5 rows, something like that.
Yes.
So what we do, so in our case, we have a separate application.
Okay.
So in that application, we design the PDF. But what we do, we import the PDF, and then on that PDF, we kind of assign the data sources. Let me give you an idea. Um, Hopefully, that will address the use case. Which, I mean, there are many options, but I believe this is the simplest one. So what I'm going to do, so let's insert a table. Come on. Okay. Then you can save this one. Um, hmm. So, so this is your template. It's one way to do it, and then there is another library. Let me show you 1 second.
So you mean to fill that, read the Word document and fill that data?
It's not Word document. Let me clarify it again. Maybe I made a mistake while saving. Yeah, looks like I made a mistake. So from here, what you can do is
PDF. Okay.
PDF. That's it. This is your PDF. It'll become your template. Um, here, yeah, this is the same file. Let's open it. So that's one. I think this is an comparatively easy option, but I'm going to see it's PDF, the same thing. So now, so we have another application which is part of this system. So from there, we have an interface like drag and drop. So in that drag and drop, we have controls like a drop down, text box, radio button. So imagine there is a bar on the left side, you can drag and drop controls here. That's one option. But let me show you something else. So this is another library. It's called iText PDF. This is an open source version, iText Sharp. If you want to generate what I just did by hand in the Word, you can do it by C Sharp. It have a lot of features. So I'll recommend looking into it.
Okay.
So yeah, through code, it have like it gives you complete control. They also have API documentation in general. They have a lot of, like there is a demo lab. So depends upon how much time do you have and how extensible you want to go. So these are the two options that you can do.
Okay.
So in our case, because what we did, we gave the ownership to business. So then we have a UI drag and drop, like I was saying. So from that UI, the business team, they can change certain things. We cannot change the entire PDF because the DMB, they owns the PDF, but sometimes the source of data, they can only change that thing. So besides that, we have some internal documents like power of attorney, something like that. So those documents we have complete control. So then business can open that visual builder. They do certain changes. I mean, in general, they can change whatever they want. So this way we have split. So in case the business team wants to change anything, they do not need to talk to the developers. Then it slows down, right? They need to open a work item or a ticket, whatever system you're using, Jira or Azure DevOps. So then it takes a while. But from here, from a visual builder, they can change it and click publish. It's live in production. Okay. So yeah, the old system, it was requiring a lot of code changes for even minor stuff. So that's the reason we built this system. Like I was saying, separation of concerns. It can be independently deployed, independently worked on. The users are different. Only business people use this system. One second. I'm trying to find, yeah. So what we built is kind of exact copy of DocuSign. So, so they had a page to show all the features. That's what I'm trying to find to show you. So yeah, I mean, like I was saying, there's a separate visual builder to design the PDFs, which is kind of exactly what DocuSign does. I'm sure you guys have used DocuSign because it's kind of very common.
Yeah, we have used that.
Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we have time. If there are more questions, please feel free. We can talk about this.
Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you. That's wonderful.
So, guys, shall we wrap up, or no, or do you want to hang around? So this is the PDF viewer. This guy calls this one, and it also calls this one. So this is the main file, which does the rendering of the PDF. I mean, this was my challenge, like I said. 15,000 lines of code that I had to go through, and same here. Again, yeah, more than 15,000 lines of code that I have to get familiar, go line by line, see what's going on. I did not write any of this code. Yeah, it's at one point I thought it cannot be done, but I don't give up easily. So I just I'm like, yeah, let's spend more time. Sometimes I would do something, it would not behave what I was expecting, and sometimes this code is so nested, it was getting challenging to debug. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, it was not a comfortable situation. I'm so glad I was able to find the working solution.
Yeah, glad you made it.
Oh yeah. See, it came to the point that if it cannot be done, then we might have to scrap the project. I mean, that's a big setback. So I'm like, it became binary. Like, if you do it, then it's successful. We go ahead with the again deployment. If not,
Need to
we
find another source.
we call it a failure. I'm like, no way, no way. And I have so many people looking up. Hey, yeah, we gotta get it done. There were users waiting. It even got escalated to CIO, senior VP, executive team. Especially, see, they saw it working, but the only problem was the PDF cannot be saved. I'm like, nobody is doing it. Why we have to do it? But eventually, all is well that ends well. um, yeah, it was fun, a different experience. So this is why I recommend it to my even friends, co-workers, that always try to be hands-on, keep practicing. You never know. So when you will find yourself in that situation where you would have to do something which you may not have done. Imagine if I stopped coding, then yeah, um, it'll be like a magnitude of 100 times more challenging.
I agree.
So guys, it's almost your getting 4 p.m. Are you ready to start your weekend?
Yeah, we still have a lot of work in the production. We have a production list, so
Man, on Friday?
yeah, this is the time we get to test over the weekends. That
Okay, so you'll be testing over the weekend. So working
no,
weekend.
teams in India.
Okay. Got it.
So it will be like 3 days. Monday they can.
Okay. So Suresh, do you have, I mean, you were asking about this, use cases. Do you have this scenario already, or it was your imagination about this
No, we
scenario?
have a scenario. So we have a scenario that we were using HTML to PDF conversion. So we basically build HTML and then do prints PDF files based on the HTML.
Mhm.
So we're trying to do it on the UI. So far we're doing on the server side.
Okay.
We are doing on the UI side. So trying to see if it is something we can leverage.
Sure.
Yeah. So as soon as the report is generated, you need to send an emails with attached PDFs. So whatever the changes that along with the logo and all those changes needs to be modified, updated dynamically.
So are you using an external library for your HTML to PDF, or is it your inbuilt code in your company that you're using?
Now we use external, I think open source, some other open source. It's on the
Okay.
server side, so I never get a chance to. Maybe it's a scalar or something.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
No, I'm good for now. Thanks.
So guys, shall we wrap up? I mean, if there is anything you want me to go over again, maybe go over demo, or maybe kind of go over this code changes again, I can do that. We have time. But if you want to get some time back, then we can wrap up. Whatever is your preference.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with wrapping up. So
Okay, Thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate your time.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Yeah, you too.